Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I have for you this lovely cake with Nutella and almonds. So I'm gonna show you step by step how to make it yourself at home. I'm gonna start with a sponge cake. And to prep this, I'm gonna need 5 egg whites, 100 grams of sugar, 4 tablespoons of flour, 10 grams of baking powder, 100 grams of ground almonds or almond flour, and 1 teaspoon of almond extract. I'm gonna start mixing ground almonds with flour and baking powder. This way I will know that the almonds are evenly distributed throughout the batter and the cake will bake evenly. I'm gonna give this a good mix and let it aside. These are the dry ingredients, so we're gonna need them a bit later after we're gonna whisk the egg whites. So using the mixer, I'm gonna start mixing these egg whites at low speed in the beginning, and after a minute or so increase the speed, and when they start to get white and super foamy, we add sugar gradually and increase the speed of the mixer and continue to mix until we're gonna have a nice shiny stiff meringue. Add almond extract, and now I'm gonna add those dry ingredients that we mixed in the beginning. Pour the batter in the cake frame, and I'm gonna bake this in a preheated oven at 170 Celsius for about 15 minutes, and my oven is a convection one, and I use the fan also, so the cake will bake in the middle of the oven and will take only 15 minutes. Yeah, level nicely the batter and put this in the oven, and in about 15 minutes it's gonna look like this. So let it cool down now and let's make the filling. And for this I will use 5 yolks, 2 sackets of vanilla pudding, 40 grams each, and if you don't have these you can just add cornstarch, 150 grams of sugar, almond extract again, milk 700 milliliters, and 125 grams of room temperature butter. I'm gonna put in a pot most of that milk, about 600 milliliters, and I'm gonna put it on the stove to heat up pretty good. In the meantime, I'm gonna start mixing the yolks, and you see what intense color they have, so the filling will be super nice as well. I'm gonna start mixing them with the sugar until they're gonna go in a creamier color and increase a bit in volume, and that sugar will start to dissolve. You can totally use the mixer for this step, but as you can see with the spatula it's pretty easy as well. Now I'm gonna add the pudding, one sacket at a time, and I'm gonna make sure that it's well incorporated and we don't have any lumps and clumps in this filling. We want this to be nice and smooth. And I'm gonna add some of that milk that I reserved. I told you in the beginning I had 700 milliliters. I put 600 on the stove, and with the rest I'm gonna thin up a bit this filling here. Add now the other sacket and the rest of the milk cold, and make sure that I mix really well those pudding mixtures. And now when the milk from the stove heat up pretty good, I'm gonna add it over the egg mixture in a thin stream, allowing the eggs to accommodate the heatness of the milk. Hotness, okay. If you know what I mean. And I'm gonna pour all this mixture back in the pot and return it on the stove. Okay, pour everything back there and return it on the stove on low fire and keep on mixing until it's gonna thicken up. Now take it off the stove, and I will pour it actually in a bowl, and I will try to cool it down faster because I want to make this cake faster. So I'm gonna cool it down, placing the bowl in some ice water, but I will cover the filling with some cling film because I don't want that skin to form on top. When the filling cool down, I'm gonna use again my mixer, and I'm gonna place it in a mixer bowl and mix it up a bit, fluff it up a bit, and to make it yummier, of course, we're gonna add almond extract and that butter that is at room temperature. So now it's a lot creamier and yummier, of course. Now that the sponge cake cooled down, I will remove the cake frame, but I will use it again and you will see why. And I'm gonna assemble the cake. Okay, so at the base we need a sponge cake. After that I'm gonna put about 2 or 3 tablespoons of Nutella and spread it all over the sponge cake in a thin, even layer. Now I have these vanilla wafers and I dip them in milk, and I'm gonna place them on top of Nutella layer. You can find these in round shape as well, so you can use those. From what I've seen in Canada, there is a brand called Maria, and you can definitely use those. Now I place the frame around the cake, and I'm gonna add all that filling that we made with eggs and vanilla pudding. I'm gonna level this nicely with a spatula. And on top I'm gonna add another layer of vanilla wafers, but this time I'm not dipping them in milk. they will absorb excess moisture from the filling, and the cake will be easier to slice. So these ones don't dip them in milk. If you have to cut in halves to fill up the border, you can totally do that. As you can see, I did that as well. Now another 2 or 3 tablespoons of Nutella on top of these. Level it nicely all over the surface.
So 300 milliliters or grams of whipping cream, and the one that I'm using is sweetened.
Milliliters of whipping cream, a bit more than 1 cup. And if you have unsweetened one, you can add a bit of sugar, like 2 or 3 tablespoons. If you have a sweetened one, then don't add any sugar. And I place this in a piping bag and just pour whipping cream on top of my cake. Cover all the surface with whipping cream. I will sprinkle some ground almonds on top of the cake and place it in the fridge until next day. This cake needs to stay in the fridge to set, and the next day we're gonna be able to slice it and serve it. And looks amazing and tastes delicious. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're gonna try to make these in your kitchen and let me know what you think. Until next time, find reasons to smile. Have an awesome day. Bye.